Hello my lovely crafty people, and today we are back with Full Deck Challenge 3 hosted by Shanuki Art. I'll pop a link to her page in the description below. It's a really cool activity to do, and each week we have a new prompt, and today's prompt is Doodle. My carryover is Butterfly from last week, and my constant is that mini playing card. So in the butterfly, she's orange and she's got pink and she's got purple. So I thought I would just use some of my orange craft papers for the background. This is a range of scrapbook papers and some gel print that I did a few weeks ago. And just collage in the background, as that's one of the constants for this challenge. I'm leaving the top left corner free so we can see it's a playing card, and then I'm going to focus my focal points by using this pink. It's a washi tape sticker sheet thing, and I'm using these flowers that are stamped onto some just recycled paper. I think it's from an old book, and adding the doodle coming out of it to add the doodle element. The paper itself looks quite doodly, so I just thought, and the stamps that I've chosen are quite doodly as well. So these are going to be my focal points on my page. I'm going to have 3 of them. I tend to work in 1, 3s and 5s, just because it just makes it a bit more aesthetically pleasing. So you can see I'm trying to mimic some of the detail that's in the flower in my doodle. And while I'm watching this video back, I realised that actually what I need to do is go over the black with a thicker black to make the doodle stand out more. So I'll probably do that once I finish the video and before I sew it into my Full Deck Challenge book. So just completing the final doodle flower, just adding that little bit more detail in. And then these are, as I said, my focal points for my page. I'm just trimming off the edges around the card, and I will probably go round the edge of the card with some black Sharpie. And I had a look at the page, I thought, oh, it needs something else. So I grabbed my tray of inks and just using some writing ink, I'm going to splatter ink on the page. I find ink works better as a splatter than paint because it really stands out. So I'm positioning my flowers and where I'm going to put my card, and I'm just using some string to make that stand out. And you'll see by gluing it down I smudged it, but that's not to worry because the card will cover the smudge. So I'm using a stronger glue to glue it down, just pulling out some of the string, and then I'm going to include half of the butterfly on my playing card. And then I'm going to stick my focal points down, one this side. I'm leaving that top right corner because if you remember, I stick I punch out a shape. It's like a square with kind of rounded edges, and I punch that out and I use that on the corner to put this week's number. And then on the back, I write what the prompt was. So just sticking down my focal points, and then I thought, oh, let's add that other butterfly to the bottom corner, just using some thread to carry it over from the card. And then just thinking of a sentiment to write on the page, so just writing it out to make sure I've got it correctly and spelt correctly, because if I just write it straight on the card, I always make a mistake. And just going over it again so that it can be seen. And just creating that in like a text box, adding to the doodle effect. Finally, I'm just going to doodle on some flowers. Some of them I've gone over the flower print on the gel plate printing sheet. And I've just cut out 2 of the shapes that I use. One to stick at the back, which will be the spotty paper, and then I'm going to use the gel plate print, stick that on the front, grabbing out my number stamps, and I'm just going to stamp onto a piece of the scrapbook paper that I used. I stamped number 8 first because I couldn't really see what I was doing, but we're using the 3 and the 0 because today is card 30, and we're just going to stick those on, add a little bit of detail around the edge, and then we're done. I was really pleased with how this card turned out. I wasn't sure where I was going with it to begin with. I knew I wanted to include the butterfly as my carryover, but also wanted to include these lovely stamps. I stamped them the other day to make some collage fodder, and I was like, oh, they'll match for the Doodle card. So just go round the outside of the number, and that's the card done. Let me show you a close-up. Thanks for watching.